attention. One of the biggest struggles is at the goalkeeper position.
Yeah.
And who is rostered for Lansing City this year?
Joshua Pierce.
Josh Pierce. But what does that do for this Lansing City team?
I mean, I think he does a lot, right? He's a fantastic shot stopper, so right away he's really solid. Seeing Riley McKenzie out there for the first game action of the FCS season for him.
Nice 1-2, some space on the far side. And again, Brandon Polish gets beat. Near post. And that is the one and only number 10. That put it away. Shota Takabatake. It's trouble for Innovation City early on. And Jinga have piled black and pink going on. Slide from Cervantes. And he sets up a second goal for Mazarigos, and it's just a 2-goal deficit.
Hey, Mazarigos is out there like, why haven't y'all talked about me tonight? He's put
They haven't put it in the back of the net yet.
Yeah, well, here he is, and look at that. Cervantes with the assist coming up. You know, wow, great play from Cervantes. That is...
Donnie Menez with the turn. He's got another chance. Little toe poke, flick, not there. Under 30 seconds to play. Give or take. The flick from Alan Lemus to Hasovic. Hasovic trying to create something, working with Anthony Leon to the back post. It takes a deflection. It takes a deflection. We're all tied up.
Oh, Anthony Leon. Wow.
He was looking to the back post. That came off from that Jackson.
Yeah, it looks like it did come off Jackson. Wow, fantastic effort right there. Man. Cervantes was ready for that back post pass. And it just...
Fortunate for him. Wow. It's just the key, I think, for Jinga this year is does a year of experience help these players? So we saw athletes, we saw physicality, but we didn't see great futsal. So does Innovation have the upper hand in the game this weekend because of some of that experience? And that was one thing that we saw when they would go on the road. Not only did they sometimes were missing some players, but even when they had some of their key players, they had Costa Wells, they had Davide De Poche, when they went on the road, and it wasn't a close game.
You know, I want to say that I could see them winning it all and advancing far in the playoffs, but I think the bold prediction is that they're going to miss out on the playoffs.
I would agree with that statement.
Whereas with Jinga, with their roster availability, it's been able to allow Satoru Matsushima just to coach and to not be in a situation where he's having to be a player coach the entire game.
And here he is on the ball for the long one, headed away by Jonathan DeLucia. Now up the floor, 2v1. Can Innovation City capitalize? No, says the left hand of Corey Weisenhunt.
Wow, incredible recovery from Corey Weisenhunt. He was in terrible position, anticipating an early shot from Oliver Legan, but Legan made the extra pass and almost caught Corey Weisenhunt.
Under 5 minutes into the second half, Matsushima takes a corner, and it's right there where they want it to be for Jinga. They get number 7, just like that.
Oh, fantastic set piece play from Jinga. They set that up really well. Satoru is notorious for taking those corners and creating opportunities for his team. Great run right there from Takabatake, just to cut inside and catch.
Right in front of him.
Oliver Legan cannot let him run by like that. Very poor defensive effort there, just to let Takabatake in front.
There, Anthony Leon forwards the pass. His pass to Hasovic behind him, but Anthony Leon finds it. Top shelf. Number 22, Alan Lemus, puts Midwest up by 4.
Just the movement right there is just so incredible to see the way that Anthony Leon and Peter Hasovic on his play together. Just look at the build-up here. Hasovic kept that ball in play, really tight angle, made the pass to Anthony Leon, and Lemus knew exactly where to be, where he needed to position himself to not just make the back post run, but made a fantastic play. You know, you want to make that pass to the back foot and really give your teammate an opportunity just to slide it home first time, but Aldama was not able to handle it.
Midwest are able to work it up. How about this back post? A pretty goal Montañez doubles the lead.
Look, Aldama could not handle the pass to put it away himself, so he said, you know what, Montañez, I'm going to give it back to you, Raul. With a little back heel flick, just roll over, give it back to him. Montañez slotted it off.
Just outside of the outstretched leg of Cervantes. Not in a bad position. Blocked a little bit by him.
I mean, he's going to be the best pivot. Best pivot in the league. Yeah, you know, I mean, we really hadn't even talked about him yet today. So incredible on the ball. His ability to hold up play, his ability to allow the offense to run through him, his creativity, his ability to capture the ball and spin and shoot and score. It's just really one of the best in the league. I mean, him and Trezor Crispin, I think, are the best, the most solid traditional pivots that we have in the league.
Yeah. Differ slightly. In fact, in all likelihood, it will differ slightly as we're controlling it here from our studio. But we're ticking down to the final moments. Shoreline City trying to put something together. Aldoni Mendez, he's shielding off Hasevic's toe post. Finds the back of the net. Shoreline's up by 1 with a minute to play.
Wow, Aldoni Mendez just showing his intelligence to shield the ball, to not let Hasevic come through, and just to prevent, I mean, Hasevic is pulling at him, just to prevent anything. He gets pulled down, still gets the shot off. What's just an intelligent play from Mendez to understand his body positioning and placement.
Them having bad mistakes, but give up. So essentially, as a game as a whole, you're playing down already to sometimes 3 goals. So here is possibly the biggest move for Lansing City in the offseason. Potentially. One of the biggest struggles is at the goalkeeper position.
Yeah.
And who is rostered for Lansing City this year?
Joshua Pierce.
Josh Pierce. But what does that do for this Lansing City team?
I mean, I think it does a lot, right? He's a fantastic shot stopper, so right away he's really solid. Seeing Riley McKenzie out there for the first game action of the FCS season for him.
Nice 1-2, some space on the far side. And again, Brandon Polish gets beat. Near post. And that is the one and only number 10. That put it away. Shota Takabatake. And it's trouble for Innovation City early on. If you can have black and pink going on. Slide from Cervantes. And he sets up a second goal for Mazarigos, and it's just a 2-goal deficit.
Hey, Mazarigos is out there like, why haven't y'all talked about me tonight?
He hadn't put it in the back of the net yet.
Yeah, well, here he is, and look at that. Cervantes with the assist coming up. You know, wow, great play from Cervantes. That is...
Aldoni Mendez with the turn. He's got another chance. Little toe poke, flick, not there. Under 30 seconds to play. Give or take. A flick from Alan Lemus to Hasevic. Hasevic trying to create something, working with Anthony Leon. The back post! It takes a deflection! It takes a deflection! We're all tied up!
Oh, Anthony Leon! Wow!
He was looking to the back post. And I think it came off from Matt Jackson.
Yeah, it looks like it did come off Jackson. Wow, fantastic effort right there. Man. Cervantes was ready for that back post pass. And it just...
Fortunate for him. Wow. It's just the key, I think, for Virginia this year is does a year of experience help these players? So we saw athletes, we saw physicality, but we didn't see great futsal. So does Innovation have the upper hand in the game this weekend because of some of that experience? And that was one thing that we saw when they would go on the road. Not only did they sometimes were missing some players, but even when they had some of their key players, they had Costa Wells, they had Davide Poche, when they went on the road, and it wasn't a close game.
You know, I want to say that I could see them winning it all, and advancing far in the playoffs, but I think the bold prediction is that they're going to miss out on the playoffs.
I would agree with that statement.
Nolan, whereas with Jenga, with their roster availability, it's been able to allow Satoru Matsushima just to coach and to not be in a situation where he's having to be a player coach the entire game.
And here he is on the ball for the long one, headed away by Jonathan DeLucia. Now up the floor, 2v1. Can Innovation City capitalize? No, serves the left hand of Corey Wiseman.
Wow, incredible recovery from Corey Wiseman. He was in terrible position, anticipating an early shot from Oliver Ligon, but Ligon made the extra pass and almost caught Corey Wiseman.
Just under 5 minutes into the second half, Matsushima takes the corner, and it's right there where they want it to be for Jenga. They get number 7, just like that.
Oh, fantastic set piece play from Jenga. They set that up really well. Satoru is notorious for taking those corners and creating opportunities for his team. Great run right there from Takabatake, just to cut inside and catch.
Right in front of him.
Oliver Ligon cannot let him run by like that. Very poor defensive effort there, just to let Takabatake in front.
Anthony Leon forwards the pass. He's past the Hostage behind him, but Anthony Leon finds it. Top shelf. Number 22, Alan Lemus, puts Midwest up by 4.
Just the movement right there is just so incredible to see the way that Anthony Leon, Peter Hasevich, and Ramos play together. You just look at the build-up here. Hasevich kept that ball in play, really tight angle, and made the pass to Anthony Leon. And Lemus knew exactly where to be, where he needed to position himself to not just make the back post run, but to under a fantastic play. You know, you want to make that pass to the back foot and really give your teammate an opportunity just to slide it home first time, but Aldama was not able to handle it.
Midwest are able to work it up. How about this back post? A pretty goal. Raul Montañez doubles the lead.
Look, Aldama could not handle the pass to put it away himself, so he said, you know what, Montañez, I'm going to give it back to you, Raul. With the little back heel flick, just roll over, give it back to him. Montañez sliding it off.
Just outside of the outstretched leg of Cervantes. Not in a bad position. Blocked a little bit by his...
I mean, he's going to be the best pivot. Best pivot in the league. Yeah, you know, I mean, we really hadn't even talked about him yet today. So incredible on the ball. His ability to hold up play, his ability to allow the offense to run through him, his creativity, his ability to capture the ball and spin and shoot and score. It's just really one of the best in the league. I mean, him and Tresor Crispin, I think, are the best, the most solid, traditional pivots that we have in the league.
Yeah. Differ slightly. In fact, in all likelihood, it will differ slightly. We're controlling it here from our studio. But we're ticking down to the final moments. Shoreline City trying to put something together. Aldoni Mendez, he's shielding off Hasevich's toe poke, finds the back of the net. Shoreline's up by 1 with a minute to play.
Wow, Aldoni Mendez just showing his intelligence to shield the ball, to not let Hasevich come through, and just to prevent, I mean, Hasevich is pulling at him, just to prevent anything. Even if he gets pulled down, still gets the shot off. Wow. What just an intelligent play from Mendez to understand his body positioning and placement.
Them having bad mistakes that give up goals. So essentially, as a game as a whole, you're playing down already to sometimes 3 goals. So here is possibly the biggest news for Lansing City in the offseason. Potentially. One of the biggest struggles is at the goalkeeper position.
Yeah.
And who is rostered for Lansing City this year?
Joshua Pierce.
Josh Pierce. But what does that mean for this Lansing City team?
I mean, I think he does a lot, right? He's a fantastic shot stopper, so right away he's really solid. Seeing Riley McKenzie out there for the first game action of the FCS season for him.
Welcome to the Jolt Creativity pregame show. Jolt Creativity. Destroy the lie.
Welcome, everyone, to the Jolt pregame show for today's Futsal Champions Series action in Chicago, Illinois. Chicago House taking on Shoreline City FC this afternoon. I'm Jared Klepp along with Gerard Ascani. We're here in our Lansing studio bringing you this game, our fourth and final game of the weekend. Wow. So much futsal and so many blowouts so far.
So many blowouts. Every game was lopsided so far. Let's hope today we see Chicago House be a little bit more competitive, really a lot more competitive than they were yesterday.
They lost 12-2 in the game yesterday against Midwest United. They're looking to turn things around against Shoreline today. What's going to be the key for them?
You know, yesterday the game with Chicago House was the most lopsided game of any of the teams that we've seen play so far in the FCS. The biggest thing for them is their youth. They have a lot of talent, but they were playing very individualistic. And so how can they play more as a team? How can they create together? Because they will need to do that to be effective against Shoreline.
And the big question is, what just happened? I mean, I don't think anybody predicted them losing by 10 goals at home. I think there is a possibility that people may have thought, and it was in my head too, maybe the hype is a little too much. Maybe they're not going to live up to it, right? We saw some success in the summer, but they did get blown out by Olay in the final of the National Showcase. So, but a 10-goal loss at home, I did not expect that.
Yeah, it's tough, and I don't think anybody did. But the biggest thing we talked about going from the tour to the regular season is the difference in the full-length games. And that's a huge differentiating factor when you look at a lot of the tournaments that these teams play in before the FCS and before the season existed. It's just 20 minutes, maybe 23 minutes with a running clock. And so it goes a lot faster. And one of the things we noticed from Chicago House was that they played a couple of players the vast majority of the time. And you can do that with a running clock, but you cannot do that with a stop clock at 40 minutes. And, you know, we saw that. We saw the difference. When you bring a team with Midwest there, they brought a lot of talent. And that was one of the concerns ahead of that game for Midwest United was who were they going to bring? They brought a lot of talent, and the talent disparity was pretty clear.
And for Chicago House, you know, you're watching their game yesterday. There was many moments that it was like, is this the same team? Like, they didn't look like themselves in the game, at least what we saw, but maybe what we saw in the summer was not accurate representation. We're going to find out a little bit more today. Let's shift the focus onto Shoreline City. They are coming off of that 6-6 draw, which they were down by 4 goals, not once but twice. They come back 5 unanswered, go up by 1, and in the last 20 seconds, 15 seconds, Midwest get a lucky bounce to draw 6-6. They're on the road today. They're trying to get their first W. What do they need?
You know, so there's a disparity right there from the way that Shoreline City showed up in their first FCS action compared to how Chicago House showed up in their first FCS action. So now you take Shoreline City coming back, now their first road game in the FCS. They're bringing a lot of the same talent that they played with last week in Muskegon. And we talk about that talent: Aldoni Mendez, Alex Mendez, Chris Mendez, the Mendez triumvirate.
The Mendezes.
Yeah, the Mendezes. They played at an incredibly high level, both offensively and defensively. Specifically, Chris Mendez is somebody that is really a fixture defensively for that team to really control and limit the opposing team's offense. And I would expect to see a lot of that out of him tonight. When you think about the young talent for Chicago House, Chris Mendez is a crafty veteran, as well as Alex and Aldoni Mendez, and that's what they bring to the table, and they can bring a lot of composure, and I think we'll see that disparity today.
Well, that's going to wrap up our Jolt Creativity pregame show. Thanks for tuning in early. We are just about ready for kickoff. Let's roll the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chicago, Illinois for the second straight day as Chicago House welcomes Shoreline City to town. In this Futsal Champions Series match, yesterday Chicago House suffered a devastating 2-12 loss against Midwest United. which was the team that Shoreline drew with last weekend 6-6. They're coming in trying to get their first W of the season, while Chicago House are trying to forget everything about yesterday's game and solidify themselves as a competitive team in the Futsal Champions Series. Here we are courtside. I'm Jared Klepp along with Gerard Ascani, coming to you from our studio in Lansing. And if yesterday's play was any indication about what Chicago House is going to bring today, they are in big trouble.
They are, and we already see a change out of Chicago House. They're in all white, and you have to think that that was intentionally done because they need a mindset shift. They need to switch the mentality. It was a very lopsided victory yesterday, and it will be hard for them not to be in their own heads today. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges for them as a young team coming into the FCS is we have rated them really highly, and they have a lot of young talent. But that's one of the things about talent is you don't always see the consistency. And so even though there's a lot of talent on this team, will we see any consistency this season in the FCS?
And that is the big question for Chicago House. Let's take a look at the starting lineups first for Chicago House. This is how they're going to line up. Castillo in goal, Chelinsky brothers in there, Chavez and Sereno. Most notably, Rafael Hernandez and Vinny Da Silva both not in the starting lineup. And I got to think that's got to be something to do with how they performed yesterday.
Yeah, I would imagine that is. It's one of the biggest challenges, again, like talk about for these young players, is that consistency from one game to the next.
And for Shoreline City, this is what they are bringing to the table right away. The exact same starting lineup we saw last week. Miguel Cervantes in goal. The three Mendezes, Jonathan Fuentes. Of course, that is Alex Aldoni and Chris. Two brothers and a nephew.
Yeah.
And that is how they will start today. Key player for them, number 7, Aldoni Mendez. He had a huge impact on sparking that run of 5 goals last weekend against Midwest.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He's so skillful and creative on the ball. Probably see a lot of action out of him today.
And there is kickoff, and here we go. Shoreline starting with it. Aldoni at the half line. Chris Mendez on the near side, and Cifuentes on the far. Chris with it now, finds Alex in the middle, a turn. Aldoni at the back post, and his chance is deflected out by Castillo.
You know, we said we were going to see a lot out of him tonight, and right away early, just wide open on the back post. If they're going to give shots away like that, there's going to be a lot of them will find the back of the net.
Aldoni to put it in. Ball coming to the far post. Castillo a little late on the reaction, but he is in time. Quick distribution high up the court to Felipe Marroquin. And he wins Chicago House a kick in. He does take a shot here going near post. Cervantes outstretched. It's by him and wide. Chris Mendez walking it up here. Working with Jonathan Cifuentes in the back. Oh, ball into him. He's wide open, lots of space. And already it's a goal for the visitors. Shoreline City, Jonathan Cifuentes.
This is not how you want to start if you're Chicago House. Again, on both of these shots here for Shoreline City, the first one that Aldoni sent wide, and then this one right here from Cifuentes, there's just no one marking the man, and they're leaving their marks
wide
behind.
Open.
Yeah, Chelinsky right there just lets him run right through.
So Cifuentes gets it started for Shoreline City. Chicago House with a player down, Damian Sereno. I believe that was off of the kickoff right after that as we were showing you the replay. So a foul committed by Shoreline. First one called of the match. Quick giveaway. Alex Mendez now leaves it for Chris. Back to Alex. The touch. It's in. We have trouble for Chicago House. 2 goals early for Shoreline City.
Yeah, if the first goal was not the way you want to start, you definitely don't want to do this. Cannot let the Mendez triumvirate get going. What a cheeky goal right there from Alex Mendez, showing his technical skill. Truly unbelievable what the Mendez triumvirate can do on the ball. You have to think, with this starting lineup for Chicago House, the intentionality behind it was defense. And right away, Alex Mendez with the steal, opportunity on goal. Defensively, they're not really there. Structurally, they're not playing sound defense. And, you know, at what point will we see Vinny Da Silva and Rafael Hernandez come in to give a little spark to this House team?
Shoreline up to just 90 seconds into the game. We're now at about 2 minutes in. And they're continuing to put on pressure. Chris Mendez into the middle, going to draw a foul. First one against Chicago House.
And that foul was on Matthew Chilinsky.
Man, seeing those 2 goals right here early on, Chicago House just looks so weak defensively. I mean, they just are letting Shoreline go where they want, and there's hardly any pressure. Goalkeeping reaction is slow. I mean, it's very early in this game, but it looks very bad for the team in white.
Yeah, you have to think the loss yesterday to Midwest United, and especially the way they lost, was so damaging to their confidence, especially coming out of the success that they had in the tours and the national showcase. Shoreline is a really strong team, and they showed that last week against Midwest United. So the fact that Midwest United played Shoreline City so tight and they ended up in a draw, you know, you have to expect at this point, based on what we saw yesterday, that the game's going to be very similar and play out in a very similar fashion as it did last night.
Shoreline with possession here in the back. Comfortable, not a lot of pressure coming from the Chicago House defense. We do see Rafael Hernandez now on the floor. Fighting for it in the middle and possessed by Shoreline. Brandon Edwards on the floor for them, as well as Brandon Gomez. This ball was looking for Danny Mazarigos, who had a couple of goals in the previous match, set up by Aldoni as well as Matthew Jackson. Castillo goes long, looking for number 9, Jacob Chilinsky. Felipe Marroquin providing pressure as well, and Shoreline handling it. You can see Rafael Hernandez not happy so far with the effort of his team. Cervantes missing the foot of Gomez there, just out of his reach, kicking for Chicago House coming up. Ball down the line looking for Chilinsky. Goes out of bounds. Shoreline take over. Whistle against Chicago House, their second foul. See Matthew Jackson in for the first time, and a long whistle off camera. Is that a foul up top?
Yeah, it would have to be a foul up there. You know, a lot of times between the pivot and the fixo, you'll see a lot of physicality and a lot of contact. I would anticipate right there off camera what you saw was Brandon Edwards being really physical with Damian Sereno and picking up the foul.
2 fouls apiece now, just about 4 minutes into this game. Miguel Cervantes out of goal, as he so often does, and across half. His ball not very good, but it makes it to Jackson. And Castillo had to get that one out of the middle.
Yeah, if that had been a cleaner pass, that would have been another easy goal.
Yeah.
Brandon Gomez was making that back post run wide open.
That was just way, way, way too easy for the ball to come across the middle and into the arc for Chicago House. They put it into play. Here's Rafael Hernandez. Faced up by Gomez. He plays back. Now into the pivot spot, Chelinski. Shoreline with possession. Jackson goes back to Cervantes. Cervantes looking for options. Going to the far side, Gomez. He's got Mazarigos down the line, giveaway, but there's a double there. Can they win it back? No, Chicago House maintain possession. Matthew Chelinski, left foot strike, takes a deflection, and off the post, corner kick upcoming for Chicago House.
It's good to see Chicago House get an opportunity. It's one of the biggest problems that they ran into yesterday was that even when they did get opportunities, a lot of their shots came from really deep, like we're seeing right here, another shot from Damian Serrano, very deep. Yesterday, a lot of their shots came from 12-plus meters out, and that's just not a high percentage place to be taking shots.
Matthew Chelinski with his back to goal, trying to turn on Jackson. A little Matthew v. Matthew action against Matthew Jackson.
Yesterday, we had the shoeless battle. Today, we have the Matthew battle.
There was no one shoeless yesterday, right? It was 2 weeks ago?
Well, no, but we did have Drew Barney, who tends to play without his shoes.
Oh, okay.
And then
just
Jason
the possibility.
Quimzon. Yeah, the possibility of shoelessness happening in Lansing City, but there was no shoelessness to happen.
Today it's the Matthews that go against each other. Here is Rafael Hernandez right back to where it came from. Da Silva down the line, has space right at Cervantes, and he takes a shot. Ouch. We saw one of those yesterday, too.
We did. Yeah, Emerson Mena took one.
Shows the commitment at the goalkeeper position.
But again, it just gives us a moment. Let's highlight Miguel Cervantes for a minute. We talk about how big of an impact the change in goalie had for Midwest United last week, but we really didn't highlight enough the impact that Miguel Cervantes had. He had a really outstanding game. He had, I want to say, like over 15 saves last week. Really great effort. And one of the things that we talked about really was a key for their success was how he got involved offensively. And so there was this moment where he was able to steal the ball off of a rebound from Fikret Hasvich, or really just like beat him to the ball, and had a sliding tackle and assisted on a goal. And it's just something you don't see often from goalies, not only being in the attacking third without the ball, when the other team has the ball in the attacking third of the court, but then to be that aggressive. If he would not have won the ball from Fikret, that's a for sure goal. And so it does also show you a little bit of that mentality of Miguel Cervantes to take risk, which, you know, with high risk comes high reward.
Something I'm actually pretty surprised about here. I know that is a brutal shot to take, but from a gameplay standpoint, how long can you delay the game for something like this? I mean, typically they have to get off the court, and you got to put a backup in or somebody for the time being, or they just have to come off. And we see that in outdoor all the time. A player needs to take a break for a second. I'm actually quite surprised that they let the game get delayed for so long there.
Typically, yes. Sometimes there's some allowance made specifically for the goalkeeper. And, you know, that kind of carries over from the outdoor game where the goalies are not subbed out rarely ever, if ever, during a game outside of injury. But in futsal, where we see goalies get subbed more often, you'd think that they'd be a little bit less lax with that and ask for the sub.
Meanwhile, Shoreline putting together an attack. They do win a corner. Looks like it's going to be number 6, Brandon Edwards, to put it in play. Oh, no, that's number 7, Aldoni Mendez.
One of the things that you will see from more experienced veteran goalkeepers is actually delaying games and reclaiming some of that momentum back by acting injured. I don't want to say acting injured, but really like taking as much time as possible. We see that a lot out of some of the more crafty veteran goalkeepers.
And, of course, this case 100% was not.
This was not. Yeah, this was not.
Just want to clarify.
Of those times. Yeah, just to clarify, this was not.
Here is Chicago House coming out of the back. Vinny Da Silva with it. Right here, going toward the middle, finds Hernandez on the far side, and it goes back to Da Silva now. Faced up by Chris Mendez. Strong defensive force we saw for Olay last year. Now playing for the Shoreline black and pink. Hernandez got to take it away. He had slides to win it back. He does eventually get it. It was Cifuentes who forced the ball out from his possession at first. Hernandez now gets some space. He goes long and right out of bounds. We mentioned this in the pregame, but this is the 4th FCS match of the weekend, just 2 weeks in, and it's going to be more and more common that we have lots of games in one weekend, especially with the FCS women's games are going to be starting up pretty soon.
Yeah, when we talked, with 52 matches this year, right?
52 in total as Alex Mendez goes wide with that toe poke. Regular season games, men
Regular
and women's.
season, 52 matches, and now we had 2 last weekend and 3 so far this weekend, so still quite a bit to go.
A lot of futsal to be played between now and the end of March. And the goal is to broadcast every single one right here on the FCS Live YouTube channel.
You know, as fast as Shoreline got ahead, and it looked like things were going to get out of hand fast for Chicago House, it looks like Chicago House has really maintained a little bit of their composure and regained some of that composure and settled down, and it looks like they're settling into this game, at least getting some opportunities here, as we see right. Oh, nice slide tackle from Chris Mendez.
Solid defensive play, working against number 15, Johnny Vivero. He's going to take the corner here. He's got Vinny Da Silva in the middle. Chooses to go to not Hernandez. That's Da Silva at the top. Ivan Sereno, excuse me. Ball inside, blocked out for Chicago House kick-in. And for them, you know, we've mentioned it a couple of times, but in a very tough situation yesterday, losing by a score of 2-12 against Midwest United in a fashion that was surprising probably to everyone that watched.
Yeah, especially if you had a chance to see Chicago House in action at any point before that, you would have been shocked to see that scoreline.
Here is Sereno looking inside. There's space. Cervantes blocks the first one. The second one goes wide. Gianni Vivero on the attack.
You know, I hadn't had a chance to talk about Gianni Vivero much recently, but he's somebody that Ramon Hernandez is very high. Coach of Chicago House, Ramon, talked about Gianni Vivero being a little bit of a mixture, a combination of Rafael Hernandez on the ball and the skill of Vinny Da Silva as well.
Ball goes short and out at the halfway mark. Shoreline to put it back into play. Down the line, Alex Mendez trying to hold up play. And now Hernandez the other way, a long strike. Nearly Vivero on the follow-up as we have another one from distance coming from Ivan Sereno.
Great block from Matthew Jackson, putting his body on the line to protect the goal. And it looks like the corner just went right across the face of goal.
Now here is Da Silva. He's got 2 Shoreline players right there. Opts to go backwards to Hernandez. Hernandez backpedaling all the way to Castillo in that bright yellow. Like a little sun in the back of the net. And Shoreline get whistled for a foul. I must have missed it. I didn't see anything there.
Yeah, it looked like it happened earlier in the run. I didn't see
probably
the
off
foul
the ball
either. Yeah.
Silva on the far side forces a save out of Cervantes.
So this is one of the challenges that's interesting about the league. So with the league expanding to Chicago, there is a new set of officials locally in Chicago, which may or may not call the game similarly to what we experience here in Michigan and in Cincinnati. And curious how that will have an impact on the game. They do so far seem to be calling it a lot tighter than what we're used to seeing from some of the traditional refs in the FCS.
Last play out of bounds before any attempt on goal was made. Shoreline takeover down the line. Gomez, first time inside through the legs of Vincenzo Padilla. Chicago House take over now on the far side. Here is Hernandez working in the back with Sereno. And Sereno tries to keep it in. Does he do it? Yes, he does. Wins a corner. He wants space. The officials are telling the Shoreline players to back up. And now indicates play will happen on the whistle. Here it goes. Hernandez to the far side, missed touched by Vinny Da Silva. Aldoni Mendez on the far side. Comes back here to Jackson. Back to Mendez. Rotations happening up top for Shoreline. Chicago House comfortable to pick up, defending at the half line. Now start to step up. Ball over to Gomez. Now back to Jackson. Aldoni Mendez inside, finds Padilla. Oh, that one got by Castillo, but I believe it was Vivero who was there to save the day.
And that's really the difference from what we saw with the first 2 goals. There was no one there to save the day, but Vivero making a great defensive run, recovery run.
Jacob Chilinsky draws that foul, the 4th one on Shoreline. You take another look. Padilla was the one whistled for it, just grabbing him and a little too much contact for the officials' liking. Rafael Hernandez stands over. He's got Da Silva in the middle. Chooses to go right to goal and mishits it.
It looks like it's actually Vivero.
That was Gianni Vivero. Cervantes goes short. Padilla and Chris Mendez in the back for Shoreline. Chilinsky and Sereno providing the pressure for Chicago. This one goes all the way up. Won by Chicago House, and they draw another foul, number 5 against Shoreline.
There's still a lot of time left to be sitting on 5 fouls.
Now the only potential issue I have with this is I did not see either official indicate 5 fouls, which they usually do.
They would.
So it's possible that we
might be ahead.
We might be ahead because there was a couple of stoppages that one of them that particularly that happened off camera, and we thought that it was a foul.
Well, there's one way to know for sure.
Another foul happens.
Now
I'm actually wondering, because of where the ball was placed. No, that can't be. I was going to say the ball hit the ceiling.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Shoreline City in a dangerous spot here. Castillo with the slide. And the defense of Chicago House hold up on that break.
Yeah, it's very encouraging out of Chicago House just to see the change in their defensive commitment over the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Quick giveaway. Alex Mendez now. Lots of space.
Right there, another good example from Chilinsky, just that recovery run to not allow Alex Mendez an easy shot on goal.
Shoreline thought it was their ball, but Chicago House now going the other way. Can Da Silva make something here? No, right back to Chilinsky. That's Jacob Chilinsky, and he sends it over.
And it's one of the things so important about futsal. When you have that defensive commitment, what it ends up doing when you play successful defense is it gives you more offensive opportunities as well.
Shoreline now, off the post, at the near post. Quickly back in Chris Mendez. Great defensive effort there from Chicago House. He had number 8, Padilla. And now Chilinsky sends one with his left foot. No trouble for Cervantes. Quickly up the court go Shoreline. Mazarigos inside, space to Gomez. And Vivero is there. Let's take another look at the shot that went off the post just a play ago. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and that's not an unfamiliar scene for Shoreline City.
Yeah.
They hit the post over 7 times in the semifinal against Chicago House over the summer.
In the FCS showcase, I remember that. If you watch the third half, our podcast, it's in our introduction now when we talked about how many times they hit the post. As Castillo slides and clears that one away. Corner kick upcoming for Shoreline. Shoreline coming off of a 6-6 draw last weekend against Midwest United. A game they were down by 4 in and scored 5 unanswered to go up by 1, and then an unlucky bounce near the end of the game brought Midwest back even.
Really a great introduction to the FCS for Shoreline City. Not only did they play really well, but they have a great venue. They drew well over 200 fans for their first game. Just an incredible atmosphere they created in Muskegon.
That attack for Chris Mendez goes well high. Chicago House now on the attack. A shot from number 2, Damian Sereno. I think it's the first time we've seen. I think we've seen.
Well, Damian started.
Damian started. We've seen Ivan a lot since then.
Yep. Yeah, and Ivan's somebody we've talked about a lot. He's someone that has a lot of technical skill, really composed on the ball. And so it did seem like when him and Vivero got on the ball, they had a lot of connections together that really helped slow this game down. And that shift really did well for them. It looks like we have a foul here on Chicago House. It looks like it was on Rafael Hernandez.
Yes, they get whistled for their 4th. Shoreline takeover. Aldoni Mendez going down the line. A slide. Oh, this one. Wow. Great defensive effort. Almost on the goal line, as that would have been a Shore goal with Castillo out already. Created again by Aldoni Mendez.
Yeah, and that truly is the difference in this game so far. We've seen 2 more goal opportunities for Shoreline City where Chicago House players were protecting the goal and doing what they need to do to make sure that nothing else finds the back of the net.
.6:45 to go in the first half. Chicago House think it's theirs. No, says the referee. Shoreline with that 2-0 lead. They scored both goals actually in the first 90 seconds of the game. And
it was, really impressive fashion of how fast they did it. But really the biggest call out was like the lack of effort from Chicago House.
It really was. They just kind of got caught flat-footed off the break as Aldoni Mendez has a strike on the pass from his brother Alex. But it was just the goals were way too easy.
Yeah, and it's one of the biggest things you think about with this young talent.
Wow, great strike there from number 2, Damian Sereno.
It's just the pace of the game. Were they really ready for the pace of the game? Because we know how much talent Shoreline City has and how fast they play. We saw it last week. And so it just looks like the first couple minutes of the game, they were not ready for Shoreline City.
Trying to draw a card there.
Yeah, we saw a card in that situation yesterday, and we talked about that, how sometimes you will get a card in that situation, sometimes you won't, and it's truly up to the referee discretion, but by rule, it would be a cautionable offense.
Looking into the pivot spot is House. It's not there, and now Chris Mendez with it in the back.
And the interesting thing, by rule, there is no discretion on it. It is just a cautionable offense.
Interesting. Shoreline in a dangerous spot. Shot from Mazarigos goes high and wide. Aldoni can't believe it. Coach Cody Harrell helping his team last week get to that 6-6 draw after being down 4 goals. Bringing his Shoreline City team into the FCS as one of the new teams this year. Their second game of the season right here, right now. They're defending here against Chicago House. Rafael Hernandez, who, with his play that we saw in the summer, was shaping up to be one of the best, if not the best young talent in the Futsal Champions Series. But we've really yet to see what he's capable of so far in the season.
Yeah, so far that is true. And another great defensive play right there, just recovering. You see Josue Chavez blocking that shot, just protecting the goal. Great save out of Castillo. But, yeah, we would have expected a little bit more out of, I say a little bit more, really a lot more based on everything we saw over the summer from Rafael Hernandez, Vinny Da Silva yesterday. But, again, that's one of the biggest things with young talent is you will see these ups and downs, and it's really how do they recover when they make these mistakes? How do they recover when they have a poor game? And you can see even the difference from the first 2 minutes of this game to the last 13 that we've watched.
Brian Gomez puts it into play all the way back to Cervantes. Matthew Jackson into Alex Mendez, a turn, and his shot didn't miss by much.
He has to wonder why Mazarigos was not there. Really good placement from Alex Mendez just to place it back post. And it would have been an easy tap in if Mazarigos was there.
Castillo goes long, headed away by Shoreline. De Silva trying to pick it up. Ivan Sereno just ends up giving it to Brian Gomez, and good defensive play there by number 21, Matt Chelinsky. So it would have been Alex Mendez 1v keeper. Chicago House thinks it's their ball, and they are going to.
Well, I think they were calling for the foul. It did
Shoreline
look like
was
he got
too.
tripped up. Can't tell from that angle if there was contact or not, but Mazarigos did not put up much of a fight after he got up.
Down goes Mazarigos, and he is going to get the late whistle.
So here we'll see if it was the 5th or 6th foul.
It should be.
Yeah, and it does look like it is the
foul
6th.
number. I thought that was only 5 for Chicago House. But I guess that was number 6 for them, as Miguel Cervantes steps up to take this 10-meter penalty. Sergio Castillo in net, facing him up, goalkeeper versus goalkeeper. And it's a save from Castillo. Castillo keeps his team only down 2. And again, he's called upon on that shot from Matt Jackson.
Hard to fault Castillo for those 2 early goals with the lack of defensive commitment from his team, but really outstanding efforts here to prevent first the 10-meter PK and then the quick shot. 2 really good, strong saves. He's got 8 on the day so far.
And guess what? We did find out that Shoreline indeed did have 5 fouls. So in this case, the referees are indicating when it's a 6th foul instead of 5th. So it will be Ivan Sereno stepping up for Chicago House with a chance to cut this lead in half. And he puts it away. Strong penalty from the 10-meter mark. Home team is on the board.
And that just does so much for their confidence, especially as a young team, for them to change the way they started this game and to only be down by 1 after it looked like it was going to get ugly really fast. It says a lot about their mentality.
It would be huge for Chicago House to go into the halftime locker room being down only 1.
You can just see their confidence growing over the last 5 to 10 minutes. Just they are seeing and believing that they belong on this court with Shoreline City, which really is not something that you could have said for last night, the way they played against Midwest United.
Here is Ivan Sereno, who just made that 10-meter penalty. Trying to go down the line. Good shielding, but Miguel Cervantes also knows how to do that.
Which, you know, we didn't even talk about it, but it was a really interesting choice to see Cervantes take that PK.
Yeah, you know, it's did he call that a foul? They did call that a foul. Wow, I am very surprised. Wow, I mean, he was just, Cervantes just shielding the ball. I mean, I didn't see him get kicked or anything, but the officials saw it different. And that is the second 10-meter penalty Chicago House will give away, as we see their 2 coaches there. And Alex Mendez steps up, takes a strike, and he puts it away for Shoreline City. They're up by 2 again.
Yeah, and Alex Mendez is not playing around, doesn't get cute on that shot, just powers it home.
Got Castillo going the wrong way. Really was not placed well at all. And had Castillo been leaning the other direction, probably would have been able to save it. De Silva has a chance of his own. So just like that, what Chicago House thought they got back, they give it right back to Shoreline. And they're going to commit another foul. Wow.
Well, you can see Chicago House really frustrated with the way some of these calls are going, really confused even why that was a foul. And I have to say I agree. I don't see a foul right there.
So Alex Mendez once again stepping up with a chance to extend this lead to 3. And he does. 4-1 Shoreline.
Well, I guess he heard you about the placement not being that good on the last one, so he got a little craftier with this one.
Beats Castillo once again. And just like that, due to accumulated fouls, Chicago House go from cutting the lead to just 1. Now all of a sudden they're down by 3.
Yeah, it's really one of the biggest obstacles with fouls in futsal. You have to be aware of how to change your game when you get that 5th foul.
Shoreline putting pressure on, facing a double in the corner, and they do retain possession. 2:13 to go before the halftime break. Aldoni Mendez, lots of time and space. He just shanks it. Vinny De Silva now. Stop stone cold by Jonathan Cifuentes. And a yellow card. I was looking down at my stat sheet for a brief moment when that happened. Did you see it?
I was actually doing the same.
we gotta be less synchronized with that. Well, it's gonna end up in a 4th 10-meter penalty. And Alex Mendez has scored 3 in a row now.
That's what I was trying to look at, because I'm pretty sure that's his 4th goal, because he had that little back heel.
Yeah.
And he's gotten 3 PKs. You know, as good as Chicago House was playing, to see the last really minute and a half.
Yeah.
It's really gone south really quick, and it's not necessarily what they've done when the ball's in play. It's just the carelessness with these fouls. Whether, we agree with the call or not, the fact that they did it and they put themselves in a position, just like when Chilinsky fouled Cervantes, when he's on the inline.
Yeah.
Like, why?
There's really no
why
threat
foul
there.
that?
Yeah.
And that was one of the points that you could see you could see Gil De Silva, the coach, and Ramon Hernandez, coaches for Chicago House, just really frustrated that they would pick up a foul so far away from goal.
And like you mentioned, whether you agree with the call or not, sometimes you got to decide what is worth it in the situation. So now Chicago House down by 4. And just for clarification, actually hold the phone there. Transition moment for Chicago House, blocked early. But just for clarification, the most recent foul, it was a tactical foul committed by Chicago House, just a jersey pull after the giveaway. So guess he just decided it was better to do that and give up the 10-meter penalty than the 1v keeper. Which in that situation, it's like, I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean?
I don't know
like,
which one.
It's probably the right choice. It's probably a better chance. But
I guess it depends, like, who's on the ball. I mean, would you rather give Alex Mendez another spot, another chance from the spot?
Yeah.
Compared to Cifuentes?
I think it might have been. Yeah, I think it was Cifuentes or Mazarigos. But 46 seconds remaining now, and Shoreline have a comfortable advantage going into the locker room if everything stays the same. Brandon Gomez going to the far post. Aldoni Mendez with the ball, defended by number 12, Luke Faubert. First time we've seen him in action today. for Chicago House. You know, when we were preparing for this season, the production team preparing the graphics that you see on the screen, I thought to myself, man, we're probably never going to have a half that has more than 2 10-meter penalties. But I was like, you know what? We should make those graphics just in case. And I'm very glad that we did, because there's been 4 for one side.
Yeah, this is by far the most PKs from accumulated fouls we have ever seen in the FCS.
Absolutely. 5 and 1/2 and 4 by one team.
Yeah, and most often what you see is teams adjust their style of play. It's one of the things that Olay Futsal Club was notorious for.
Yeah.
They'd get their 5 fouls, and then they wouldn't get any the rest of the half.
And at the end of the half, we're going to the locker room. Shoreline 5, Chicago House 1. And the other thing that we sometimes see, just to kind of go off your previous thought about the fouls, is I do think we sometimes see the officials kind of change how they call a little bit, whether it's for good or for bad. It's like sometimes I think they give a little too much wiggle room, but in this case I think the officials were just calling it how they saw it. Didn't really matter what the foul count was. So 3 goals for Shoreline City by way of 10-meter penalty. Sergio Castillo did save the first one that Miguel Cervantes shot, and then Chicago House's 1 goal that came from a 10-meter penalty as well. They were down by 1 and now down by 4 going into the halftime break. You can see right there coaches Gil De Silva and Ramon Hernandez chatting with their team, now in a 4-goal hole. We'll talk a little bit about what they might be saying and what is the outlook for them and for Shoreline during the Ally Marketing halftime show. For now, we're going to step aside, send you to our sponsors. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the other side of the ad break. There, Anthony Leon forwards the pass. He's past the Hasvich behind him, but Anthony Leon, he finds it. Wow. Top shelf. Number 22, Alan Lemus, puts Midwest up by 4.
Just the movement right there is just so incredible to see the way that Anthony Leon, Peter Hasvich, and Alan Lemus play together. You just look at the build-up here. Hasvich kept that ball in play, a really tight angle, made the pass to Anthony Leon, and Lemus knew exactly where to be, where he needed to position himself to not just make the back post run, but to understand.
Committing a crime so you can try to escape from prison. Bad idea. Go into the pod escape room to play an escape game with your friends. Great idea. Test your skill as an astronaut in outer space. Find Santa in Save Christmas. Or take a vacation to an abandoned island. Just don't get stuck there. The Pod Escape Room. Learn more at thepodlansing.com.
Made a fantastic play. You know, you want to make that pass to the back foot and really give your teammate an opportunity just to slide it home first time, but Aldama was not able to handle it.
Midwest are able to work it up. How about this back post? A pretty goal. Raul Montañez doubles the lead.
Look, Aldama could not handle the pass to put it away himself, so he said, you know what, Montañez, I'm going to give it back to you, Raul. With a little back heel flick, just roll over, give it back to him. Montañez sliding it home.
Just outside of the outstretched leg of Cervantes. Not in a bad position. Blocked a little bit by his defense.
I mean, he's going to be the best pivot in the league. Best pivot in the league. Yeah, you know, I mean, we really hadn't even talked about him yet today. So incredible on the ball. His ability to hold up play, his ability to allow the offense to run through him, his creativity, his ability to capture the ball and spin and shoot and score. It's just really one of the best in the league. I mean, him and Trezor Crispane, I think, are the best, the most solid traditional pivots that we have in the league.
Yeah.
You're watching the Futsal Champions Series on FCS Live.
Welcome to the Ally Marketing Halftime Show. Ally Marketing, let's be friends.
Welcome, everyone, to the Ally Marketing Halftime Show. I'm Jared Klepp along with Gerard Ascani. Chicago House at home, trailing 1-5 at the halftime break. They were down by as little as one, right around the 5-minute mark, and then 4 10-meter penalties. 1 got stopped, 3 get through, and Shoreline have the 4-goal advantage. What did you notice that stuck out to you in that first half?
I mean, it's really like we're watching 3 separate games in the first half. You know, the Chicago House started out really flat over the first 90 seconds, 2 minutes, just really slow to play any defense whatsoever, give up 2 quick goals. They settled down. It looked like the Shoreline City was going to run away with it, very much like Midwest United did yesterday. But Chicago House settled down. They played solid defense. You could see the commitment to the defensive end, and they were creating some offensive opportunities themselves, and they did that for about 15 minutes. And then just a foul count accumulated over time, and they never adjusted how they played. The officials kept calling the fouls, whether you agree with them or not. It ended up with 4 PKs, and Castillo saved the first one when Miguel Cervantes stepped up, but Aldoni Mendez stepped up. Alex Mendez stepped up for 3 more. Man, and you know what? I don't want to be in the post between the posts when Alex Mendez stepping up. He's got some powerful shots, and you know he slotted home all 3 of them that he took.
Yeah.
And now he's got 4 goals because he also had a really cheeky goal earlier. Really great finish. And so he's got 4 goals on the day. Chris Mendez has 2 assists. And so you could see really the difference where Chicago House started to settle into the game, but they never adjusted the way that they were playing defense, and they kept getting these fouls. That was the most PKs we've seen from accumulated fouls in FCS history.
Yeah, in a single half, 5 accumulated fouls.
In a game, that's the most we've ever seen.
I think you're right.
In a single
it
half.
happened in a single half, as there were 5 10-meter penalties there.
Yeah.
And, you know, that middle portion of the game, Shoreline, it still seemed like had the upper hand. Chicago House did have some opportunities. They were playing better on defense. Castillo had a couple of good saves. They didn't look like they were all that close to really challenging Miguel Cervantes. I think maybe they had one decent look before that 10-meter penalty got them on the board. But this second half, you know, I think Chicago House, this is their 4th half of play in 2 days. And so far for 3 halves, they've been outscored 17-3. So if I'm Chicago House, this half, like, we got to do something to shake some things up in this half, or else we're going to have 4 halves of futsal, the first in our regular season FCS debut, that we just get totally clobbered on the scoreline.
Yeah, it's not how you want to start the season, especially with a young team. It's one of the biggest things, and you see it a lot in futsal tournaments where teams come in, especially new to the competition, and they really get blown out. And it's really that mentality of, do you show up the next day? How do you show up the next day? Do you come back to practice the next week? Do you continue to work on your game and improve? And so when we look at this second half today, what improvement will we see from what they've learned in their first 3 halves of FCS action?
Well, we hope that you enjoyed the first half. Second half action right around the corner. We're actually going to take you to the court now, as both teams are just about ready to take the court for the second half kick. And, you know, right before we get to this second half kick, Gerard, we have a new section called At the Last Second, a final thought before the half, presented by the Pod Escape Room. What is your final thought before we see the second half kick?
Hey, we talk about goalkeeper play and how important it is. Miguel Cervantes in the first half, 10 saves, 91% save percentage. So outstanding work from Cervantes. He did miss a PK, but he's doing great work with his shot stopping. Will that continue in the second half?
Chicago House have the second half kick, as we see the teams reverse their sides and their benches. Chicago House now in the white, going left to right, and Shoreline City in the black, going right to left. A keeper change for Chicago House.
Angel Kanduri.
It's the first time that we've seen him between the pipes for Chicago House. Typically we're seeing Josue Escareno with Sergio Castillo. They did have a third keeper they brought to either the showcase or one of the tours in the summer, but it was not this
either of
goalkeeper.
them. It wasn't.
Angel Kunduri.
Yeah, this is the first time we're seeing him in any action as Alex Mendez shoots it wide. Aldoni, sorry.
Short to Hernandez. He quickly works in the back.
You know, it's not hard at all to tell the difference between Aldoni and Alex, but the fact that they both start with the AL, as soon as you start to say one, it's like sometimes the wrong name comes out. So Aldoni Mendez, number 7, Alex Mendez, number 10.
And here is Rafael Hernandez on the far side trying to play into the middle to Felipe Marroquin. We saw him at the beginning of the game, but didn't see much of him in the latter portion of the first half.
Yeah, and he was one of the players early in that first half that was just caught sleeping a couple of times when players for Shoreline City would make runs. And you have to think that that's a big reason why we didn't see him the rest of that half.
Chicago House showing patience here, possessing around the half line. They find a ball in with some space as two defenders quickly collapse on Damian Sereno. But he will have essentially a corner as he sets the ball down and plays it. Hernandez thought about having a shot. Now with the pass and the turn, but Vinny De Silva can't make it through. Blocked, now a corner. Hernandez into De Silva. De Silva in traffic, gives it away. Chris Mendez now with it. Shoreline City now setting up their attack. And if you missed the first half, 3 of the 5 goals for Shoreline City as they are on attacking chance here. Chris Mendez puts it away with the cheeky chip for goal number 6.
Well, you know Chris Mendez loves his chippy chips. Fantastic chip right there from Chris Mendez. Alex Mendez with the assist.
Just beating goalkeeper Angel Kunduri on that chip. Vinny De Silva kind of getting back, and
just a little slow to recover.
Well, he was kind of trotting back. I think he didn't expect that he could have an effect on that play, but maybe that's something that he'll watch the film and realize, man, if there's a chance the ball gets by both of my teammates there, I could save a goal. But in that case, he did not choose to do that.
Yeah, it really is a stark contrast, even as we open the second half, to the way Shoreline City are playing defense. You saw just a couple of minutes ago when Sereno was able to beat Shoreline City down the line, you quickly had Cifuentes and Chris Mendez collapse on him. So it seemed like he was wide open, and then all of a sudden you had 2 Shoreline players collapse on him. And it's really that level of defensive effort that's required to be competitive at this level.
Chicago House have a kick in deep in Shoreline territory. Ball across, trying to catch Chris Mendez and Cervantes sleeping, but they are not. Here's Cifuentes causing action out of Kunduri. Corner upcoming for Shoreline. Jonathan Cifuentes lifts it to Chris Mendez, and it's out of his reach. Now for Chicago House, their only goal of the match was scored from the 10-meter penalty mark, and they have a giveaway here. Alex Mendez taking it in, and surely Aldoni will put this away, and he does. 2 quick ones once again for Shoreline, and they have 7.
Well, this feels very much like the start of the game.
2 Shoreline players there.
Yeah.
Wow. It could have been Cifuentes who put that in. I mean, they're by themselves with Kunduri.
Yeah, and another assist for Alex Mendez, and Aldoni Mendez's first goal of the day.
So Shoreline City extending their lead to 6. 2 goals now in this half. As a shot comes from the near side for Chicago House.
We talk about this quite a bit leading into the season, how a lot of people in Grand Rapids talked about Shoreline City as being the threat and the real team to beat this season that could challenge Ole Futsal Club. You've seen them now in action for a game and a half. What are you thinking about that?
You know, I think it's going to come down to when we actually see them play. I mean, they drew Midwest 6-6. Midwest would, also had a 6-6 draw with Ole last year. It's hard to compare, trying to say what a team is going to look like playing against Ole, because Ole is really just another beast to play with. Really, they often have 3 full lines of players that the level does not really drop hardly at all, and that's just a different kind of game to face. So I expect the first time they play Ole, they're going to be hungry to, obviously want to beat them, as we have a chip there from Vinny De Silva. Great heads-up play to get Chicago House on the board for the second half. They're still trailing by 5. And he chipped Cervantes there. Cervantes knew he was coming up to try to get involved in the giveaway.
And he could not use his hands being outside of the penalty area. Tried to head it, but wasn't tall enough, which is surprising because Cervantes is pretty tall. Vinny De Silva, he saw the chip shot from Chris Mendez, and he's like, I'll chip you one better. It's kind of like Lay's, one chip's not enough.
Is that actually their motto? I have no idea. Could be, though. Foul called here against against Chicago House. It's the first foul of the half. Five minutes gone in half number 2. 3 goals already in this half, 2 by Shoreline and 1 by Chicago House. So far this weekend, Chicago House, with their 2 games at home, has not been the showing that they wanted it to be.
No, there's still 14 minutes of action left, which a lot can happen in that time, but absolutely not the way Chicago House wanted to start their FCS journey.
Ball into the pivot spot. Chelinski looking for a foul. He is going to draw one. Shoreline's first of the half.
I will say at the minimum, leaving this weekend, there will be some positive takeaways from this match today, and there will be some really good tape that these teams will get to look at, specifically House, around some of their defensive liabilities and some of their lack of defensive effort.
Shot here coming from number 2, Damien Sereno, off the free kick right into the wall. They quickly played into him, and he goes into the pivot trying to get it back. He has space. Toe poke block by Cervantes. Chicago House quickly take back over. Chelinski into the corner. Does he win a corner? He does. Trying to keep it in was number 5, Danny Mazarigos. He can't, so Chicago House now playing from the back. Here's Jacob Chelinski. Mazarigos breathing down his neck. Meg from Vinny De Silva on the far side. Excuse me, that's number 15, Gianni Vivero.
It looks like he did draw a foul on that play as well.
Second of the match for Shoreline.
Looked like he tweaked his ankle on that play, but he was able to get up, walk it off.
Chicago House now taking the free kick. Going wide was Gianni Vivero. So we take a look at the foul once again. And the Meg. Oh, it wasn't a Meg. He just
body Meg
on Brandon Gomez, who committed the foul. So we have action there in front of Chicago House goal. Angel Kunduri had to step up. And that shot blocked out for Chicago House, kicking deep in Shoreline territory.
There's not many that are going to keep their feet when Alex Mendez comes rumbling into you.
Rivero on the far side. He receives it. He's got Jacob Chelinski to his right. In the middle, Matt Chelinski. Rivero under pressure by Aldoni. Did they keep it in? No. Shoreline take over. This ball goes out into touch. You know, Gerard, one of the questions that we were wondering about Shoreline was how would they travel? And so far, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say so far, but the roster they brought today, I mean, it doesn't hardly look any different, if at all, from their home match.
No, and it's one of the things that we talked a lot coming into the season about the challenges of traveling in the FCS and the new teams. That would be one of the biggest concerns for them. And so I think Cody Harrell, the coach, owner-operator of Shoreline City, was really aware of that and has a lot of great plans of what to do and how to approach the travel, including ideas such as selling tickets to fans and getting a bus to travel together as a team with the fans.
Shoreline City trying to put together an attack. I think we're going to have an accumulated foul against Chicago House at the next stoppage of play. Is that going to be another foul?
We didn't see a signal for an accumulated foul, but there is always a chance it happened off screen. So there is a chance that there's an extra foul there for Chicago House. I will have to wait and see if we get to any 10-meter PKs. A nice meg right there from Aldoni Mendez that's able to draw the foul on Chilinsky.
We'll take another look at it. Comes into the middle, touch around him, and I think Aldoni kind of caused that.
Yeah, I do think that even if he got around without being tripped, I don't think he was going to get to that ball.
No, and it actually didn't even really look like Chilinsky kind of stepped in. I think Aldoni just kind of ran into him. But he gets the foul nonetheless, and Shoreline have possession. Something we have not seen in this game for Shoreline is Miguel Cervantes flying up as a fifth attacker, which he did a whole lot last weekend.
Yeah, we've seen him come up a couple of times, but not really flying, just kind of coming up quickly. There really hasn't been a lot of sustained possession for Shoreline, which would have really prevent any of that. They're taking a lot of quick shots. Kind of more how the flow of the game's going. As Alex Menez, quick steal.
He was complaining about wanting a whistle. I think for Shoreline, they just haven't really seen a need to bring Cervantes up. They've led the whole match. We didn't really see Cervantes fly as a fifth attacker last week until the second half when they were down by 4.
Which is a little interesting because sometimes what you'll see when you get a big lead in futsal is it gives you an opportunity to start working on some tactics. And another foul right here on Felipe Maricourt. Oh, actually,
no, 4 of them. Yeah, so the foul got called on Shoreline.
Fuentes.
Quickly, Cervantes called upon. He does make the point-blank save.
Well,
that's
the
foul number 5.
Total is racking up quick. And if we are accurate with our foul count, that is the 5th one on Chicago House with
lots of time to play.
11 minutes to go. I mean, we're going to see this record of PKs
we'll
for
see what
accumulated
happens.
fouls. We're going to see it extended. I mean, you know, it's always good to set records, right? Maybe not the one you want to be setting as a losing team, though. But
Felipe Marroquin put Chicago House only down by 4 on that counterattack opportunity coming from Ivan Sereno. Really, Shoreline had almost all their players back at that point. They just kind of lost track, and he's able to find a little bit of space. And with 11 minutes to go, the lead is 4. Still a long ways to go, but feels a little bit more reachable than 5. I think that was Aldoni Mendez or maybe Gomez. I thought he got fouled. Yeah, it was Brandon Gomez. Thought he got fouled. No call. And down goes Felipe Marroquin. We have had probably 5 fouls called in the last 60 seconds, maybe 90. And as we have it here, 5 for Chicago and 4 for Shoreline. Felipe Marroquin wants a handball, not going to get one. Rafael Hernandez trying to go on goal, but doesn't even get close. Blocked right at his foot. He has it back here again, faced up by Brandon Gomez. Switches sides of the court to Ivan Sereno, who brings it into the middle. Wants to see some rotation from his offense. Marroquin tries to go inside. It's not there. Brian Gomez to Matt Jackson. Goes right back his direction. Brian Gomez comfortable just to wait for Chicago House to press up with the 4-goal advantage. Marroquin hammers into Matt Jackson, no call. Down goes De Silva, no call. Brandon Gomez, Marroquin with the slide. Hits it out of play. Corner kick upcoming for Shoreline.
A little surprised the way the game has been called so far, not to see a foul on any of those challenges.
Ball right into the hands of Angel Kunduri on the goal line. Chicago House now across half. Good defense. A 2v2 now for Shoreline. Brandon Gomez with it. Shot near post, off the post. The follow-up for number 6, Brandon Edwards. Finds the back of the net.
You know, and right there, you can't say that that's really a lack of defensive effort from Chicago House. Vinny De Silva was there with the challenge, just a better effort from Brandon Gomez. Really the story on that goal right there was Ivan Sereno earlier on that play, or Damian Sereno earlier on that play, went against 2 Shoreline players by himself and lost the ball, giving up the quick transition opportunity for Shoreline City.
So again, a 5-goal advantage as Hernandez puts it into the mix. Now Alex Mendez on the break. He gets it back in the middle. And now Marroquin has it and can't maintain possession. Here comes the kick in from Brandon Edwards. Jackson up the floor to Alex Mendez, trying to turn instead of pass. And his shot deflected out. That one came, looks like it was number 8, Vincenzo Padilla. Alex Mendez off the corner, sends it sailing. Alex Mendez in the corner trying to find Matt Jackson at the top of the arc. Chicago House stopped that attack. They have a transition of their own. Vinny De Silva all by himself, puts it well wide, but does get a deflection, so it'll be a corner. Going to retrieve the ball. Chicago House about to put it into play here. They bring it all the way to Gianni Vivero to the sideline. De Silva, and he'll take the corner now. Hernandez trying to work with Vinny De Silva. Ball goes out of bounds. Chicago House, a rough 4 halves of play. They're at a negative 15 goal differential going back to yesterday's game. Both games at home. So they're in danger of giving up another one here. They do make that negative 16 goal differential. Number 8, Vincenzo Padilla, as we take another look on the long distribution. Just gets it on the other side of both goalkeeper Kunduri and number 15, Gianni Vivero. Not good enough for Chicago House.
Yeah, just incredibly out of position on that play. You could see 3 Chicago House defenders in the front court, and no one was in the back court except for Vivero, but he had two men that he had to split the difference between, not really able to defend either of them efficiently.
Ball goes out of play. Chicago House take over, 7:25 to go. They find themselves down by 6. I went off the bar. Now Chicago House the other way. And their attempt goes way over goal. Here's Aldoni Mendez inside to Alex. He receives it back. Defense from De Silva, not enough. Aldoni gets it on the other side. Great play, chip. He wants a handball, not going to get it. The other way. Chicago House 1v3. Second player comes up. Wow, that shot nearly got by Cervantes to the back post coming from Gianni Vivero. Now Aldoni Mendez 1v2 has Chris Mendez to help. Right back to Aldoni off the post on the back heel. Nearly put Shoreline into double digits. Let's see it again.
Just a beautiful 1-2 between the Mendez family. You could tell they have played a lot together.
Shoreline with the largest lead of the day right now at 6. And that one is cut to 5.
That's Ivan Sereno. Actually, Damian Sereno.
Damian Sereno screaming into the middle, found space, and to the back post. It got by Aldoni and Cervantes, as we see it here. Wow, that's a save that Cervantes usually makes. Probably was blocked a little bit in vision by Aldoni. Lead cut to 5 with 6 minutes to play. Giveaway here is Chicago House. They're going to draw a foul.
And is that their
I think
sixth?
that is. Oh, it's just a yellow card for Brandon Gomez, and I believe that is the 5th foul. So any more fouls by either side should result in a 10-meter penalty, which we saw a lot of in the first half as we see this foul once again. Just clipped them in the back. Yep, definitely. I agree with that caution as well. Oh, Hernandez forcing the save out of Cervantes. Corner kick for Chicago House now. Wasted. Matt Jackson chasing it down. Kunduri has to play it. Successful. Sereno with a shot blocked. He gets it right back. He's got Chavez to his right. Shot again. 2 in a row right there. Taken care of by the Shoreline defense. Giveaway here. 3v3 for Chicago House. Space in the middle. Kick save from Cervantes. They win it back, Chicago House. And a foul whistled. Is that 6? Yes, it is. I thought for a moment maybe our count was incorrect, but a 6th foul against Shoreline will result in a penalty. Didn't see much there.
And this is now the 6th PK we've seen today for accumulated fouls. And still 5 minutes to go. Vivero to the spot.
And he sends it to the roof. The lead is 4.
And look, as much as Shoreline was in control of this game and as much as they continue to put pressure on Chicago House, and they have a lot of opportunities hitting the post multiple times, Chicago House is not going away. They are not silently giving this game away. They're staying in this, and they are going to play as hard as they can for the duration. As we see, looks like Shoreline City took a timeout here just to recalibrate.
First timeout of the match, and it is our opportunity to let you know that this stream is sponsored by Ally Marketing. If you're looking for a marketing partner that feels more like a friend, check out allymarketing.us, A-L-L-Y marketing.us. Ally Marketing, the official marketing partner of the FCS. Let's be friends.
Only down by 4 goals with 5 minutes to play, and we know the game has been called really tight, so we should anticipate at this point seeing more PKs.
Yeah, as you mentioned just a little bit earlier, we have had 5 10-meter penalties that have been awarded in this match. 4 in the first half. Wait, did I get that
6.
wrong?
It's
been
6.
6.
It's 1 more. We had
It's
5
1
in the
more.
first half.
We had 5 in the first half and then 1 more. So 6 now total.
Yeah, 4 for Shoreline City. They missed 1. And then 2 for Chicago House, and they've been able to make both of theirs.
Here we go. 5 minutes left in the game. Will Shoreline extend their lead? Will it stay the same, or will Chicago House find some kind of opening to become within striking distance? Shoreline puts it back into play. Here's Alex Mendez. Now Mazarigos to Mendez looking down the line. It's blocked. Here is Cervantes. Puts into play Alex Mendez to Chris. Chris down the line. And Chicago House whistled for what should be their 6th foul. They're going to hand the ball back to Alex Mendez. He scored 3 in the first half. This is now their 5th 10-meter penalty. Here comes Alex. And it's saved this time, Angel Kunduri. Aldoni Mendez quickly back the other way, 2v1. Damien Sereno saving what would have probably been a goal had the Mendez brothers had a 2v keeper. So 2 likely goal opportunities, and the Chicago House defense stands tall. Still down by 4 with 4:13 left. Is it possible? They'll need something quickly. Goals can come in chunks, but you need something to get it going. Both teams with 6 fouls already this half. 4 minutes to go. Chris Mendez now to the near side. Aldoni, a flick. Almost got it back with loads of space. Now Kunduri. Chicago House got to go quick. Vinny De Silva to the far side now. De Silva overlaps. It's Sereno. To De Silva. On the line, Gianni Vivero. Ball still in play. Mendez has it. Shielding. Potentially trying to draw a foul.
Draw a foul or just waste time. Either one works for Shoreline City at this point.
Chris Mendez loses it there. 3:21 to play. Ball gets chipped in. Vinny De Silva strike. Just misses the far post. Gianni Vivero not quick enough.
Just a little slow to respond from Vivero. The back post run was open, but he wasn't there in time to put it away.
Distributes to Alex Mendez. Alex dribbles it out. De Silva puts it back in play. Up the floor goes Kunduri. 3 minutes to go. Damien Sereno over to Vivero. And keep a restart. Cervantes goes long. Gomez to Mazarigos. He has time and space to turn. Goes back to Aldoni Mendez, and he's just content. Oh, goes quick now. Into Gomez. Leaves it for Aldoni. Here comes Chris Mendez to the middle. Aldoni chooses to keep it. Works off of Chris Mendez. Gets on the other side. Chicago defense able to take it away. 2:27 to go now. Still a 4-goal advantage for Shoreline. If Chicago House wants any shot at this, they need to go quickly. Both teams on 6 fouls. .205 to go. Ball placed at Chris Mendez's foot. Finds Aldoni. Faced up by Serrano. He goes inside. Little pick from Mazarigos. He hits the floor. No call. Brandon Gomez. Did he lose it? No, he maintains possession. Aldoni down the sideline. Inside to Gomez, and he's upset. Mendez, Aldoni was upset that Gomez didn't put it away. Chris Mendez now finds Aldoni inside. Blocked there by Josue Chavez.
And on that last play, Gomez might have been upset it wasn't put away, but Chavez did a really excellent job protecting the line when Chundiri came out.
Off the corner, right back to Aldoni. Can he keep it at his foot? No. And it is going to go Chicago House's way, much to the surprise of Aldoni and mine as well. Now with 1:28 left, the game all but put away as Aldoni goes off the post. Had a chance to get into double digits for Shoreline. Instead, Chicago House the other way. It is not going to be there.
And that's the third post they have hit today. Shoreline City is all about the post once again, playing Chicago House.
Nearly got the back of the net on that chip as we near just 1 minute to play. Aldoni now with it. 50 seconds to go. Benita Silva to put it back into play. That one goes out of bounds. So 9 goals for Shoreline, 5 for Chicago House, 14 combined goals, 2 10-meter penalties this half, a total of 7 10-meter penalties awarded today.
New FCS record.
New FCS record. The Shoreline try to continue to extend their lead. Off the post again, Matt Jackson. Should add that to the stat line. Amount of times the posts are hit.
The 4th time today.
New player there for Chicago House. Couldn't catch his number.
Malik Pitchford. We haven't seen him play a lot today. I think he's maybe had like less than a minute of action.
Damian Serrano on the chance, 18 seconds to go. If you're enjoying this match, this is what's to come for the FCS. On Friday, Jinga hosts Detroit at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have 3 matches that are going to be on Saturday. Cervantes tries to get a punt goal. It's not there. But one of those is the FCS Women's Opener. Lansing City and Olay have a doubleheader, women's and men's, at the Lansing City Arena next Saturday starting at 5 p.m. Wow, that's, I mean,
I know,
can you explain your excitement for that? Lansing City, Olay, at the Lansing City Arena, and FCS Women's Opening.
From everything I've heard, as good as the Olay men's team is, the women's team is even better. And that says a lot. That says a lot about what we're going to see next weekend in action as we wrap up here today. Shoreline City 9, Chicago House 5.
A 4-goal match that was just 1 goal, a 2-1 game with about 5 minutes remaining in the first half before we had the slew of 10-meter penalties. We saw it on the screen earlier, a total of 7 10-meter penalties awarded today. Shoreline had 4 in the first half. They scored on 3 of them, and Chicago House had 1, and that was a lone goal in the first half. And the second half actually ended up 4-4. Am I mistaken? Because it was 5-1.
Yeah, if you take away those 4 goals that they scored, I mean, not that we can take them away.
Right.
But Chicago House played very competitively just from the score line. It didn't necessarily feel like that during the game because it felt like Shoreline was in control really throughout. But there's a lot of good takeaways for Chicago House, really in a way that they don't have a lot of good takeaways from yesterday's game. So even though the result is disappointing for them, they walk away with the loss. It still has to be some moments that they can be encouraged with as what they take forward. And for Shoreline City, what a great way to start the season.
And now we enter into our post-game show sponsored by the Pod Escape Room. Chicago House dropping this one 9-4. We just had it on the screen, and I just forgot it all of a sudden. 9-5. They drop it by 4 goals. So Shoreline City improve to 1 win and 1 tie. Chicago House with 2 losses. I believe we actually have league standings. May not include this game, but let's take a look at those league standings if we have them. Yes, indeed, it does not include this game. So after this game, Shoreline City, you'll see them kind of halfway down. They had 1 draw. They're now going to be at 1-0-1, the same as Midwest United. They'll probably join them at the top of the standings with a total of 4 points, and their goal differential is going to be, what's today, 4. So it's going to be +4. Yep. So Midwest United will be on top with the 2 games played. And then Detroit Imperial, Lansing City at a total tie there with 3 points apiece and a +6. Innovation City 0-2, Chicago House 0-2. Chicago House will actually be at the bottom of the table at a -14 goal differential. And one team yet to play with no action, Ole Futsal Club, and the champions of last year.
You know, they're so excited to hit the court. They are watching all this action over the last 2 weekends, and they're like, when is our turn to play? When do we get to return to the court to defend our title? And, you know, they've been tuning in to the third half, and they want everyone to know that they are the defending champions, and they have some of the best players in the league, including arguably the best goalkeeper, Frankie Mendoza. And they're like, hey, where's the recognition that we get for winning it all? Talk about us. And, you know, it's always one of the challenges. We don't see them play for the first 2 weeks. We're seeing these teams play. We're talking about what they're doing well, and it's hard to compare. Just like you talked about, it's hard to compare what Shoreline City did tonight against last week compared to what Midwest did last night against Chicago House. And so, Ole, what are they going to bring to the table? Who will we see come to Lansing City? And one thing for Ole that was not a struggle at all for them was traveling last season.
Absolutely was not.
They were undefeated on the road last season.
Undefeated
at home. Undefeated no matter where.
Didn't lose one game last year. They had 1 tie at the beginning of the year to Midwest United. More about them in a second. To wrap up this game, you know, Shoreline, they take away the 4-goal win. You know, for Chicago House, they were outscored by 14 goals in their first 2 matches back-to-back at home. So they're going to have a lot to discuss and talk about and figure out how do they return. Who do they have coming up next? It's going to be not until the 29th of November. They're going to actually host Lansing City in another men's and women's doubleheader.
That's a lot of time to work on it, because if you go back and take a look at those goals for Shoreline City, outside of the PK goals, right? You can't really do anything defensively while they're taking the PK. Look at the defensive effort from Chicago House on almost all of those goals, and it's really just a matter of them understanding the positioning, understanding where to be, transitioning from offense to defense, and really setting your team up for success. We saw a lot of times where Chicago House was giving good defensive effort, but for those goals, they weren't. And that's really the difference in this game, is that defensive effort from Chicago House.
So let's preview, before we go off air, what is to come this coming weekend. We know we have Jinga hosting Detroit Imperial. Both of those teams had pretty comfortable wins against Innovation. That one could be close. It is at Jinga's home floor. They have a history of performing well at home. Detroit Imperial, they're hungry to return to their 2024 championship ways. But I think the match that everyone is circling is Lansing City Ole at the Lansing City Arena with the doubleheader. The FCS women's kicks off. And, last year, Lansing City was one of the best teams to compete with Ole in their matches. And at home, that last regular season game was electric. Lansing City lost by a couple of goals, and were very close to bringing it back to a tie at the end. Of course, they had playoff hopes on the line. But this time, it's all coming back again to the arena in Lansing. And, wow, a doubleheader, men's and women's. This is this Lansing City and Ole, when they meet, it's one of the best games of the season usually.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of the things that we would anticipate seeing out of Lansing City and Ole women as well, because the talent on Ole's women's team is phenomenal. And there's a few women for Lansing City that are standout as well, so we'll see how they compete against one another.
And that's coming up on Saturday starting at 5 p.m. So I think it's another, how many do we have this coming weekend? 1, 2, 3,
another 4-game weekend.
Another 4-game weekend, because Innovation City will also host Shoreline in Akron. So another 4-game weekend coming up. We hope you guys enjoyed week 2 of the Futsal Champions Series. And like we said before, the plan is to try to stream every single one of these games. It's a lot for our production team, so thank you so much to all those on our team that have been a part of every single game. Not everyone has been a part of every single one, but some have been, and it's a lot for the weekend. So thank you to all of them, and thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Thursday for the third half at 8 p.m., and then week 3 kicks off on Friday night. Thanks so much for tuning in. This has been the Futsal Champions Series on FCS Live. From Jared Kleppel, Gerard Escani, everyone on the production team. We'll see you guys later.